Imagine this. You're sitting at home after dinner, maybe watching the evening news or reading a book, when suddenly something feels wrong. A heavy pressure spreads across your chest. Your left arm tingles. You try to take a breath, but the air just won't come. You're alone, and you realize this could be a heart attack. It's a terrifying scenario, but for more than 380,000 Americans every year, it's reality. Many of them were completely alone when it happened. No one to call for help, no one to notice the signs. But here's the encouraging truth. According to research published in the European Heart Journal, seniors who knew exactly what to do in the first 60 seconds were up to 73% more likely to survive. Just 1 minute, 60 seconds, can make the difference between life and death. And yet nearly 9 out of 10 people over 60 admit they don't know the right steps to take when symptoms hit. Some freeze, some panic, and some, tragically, do the wrong thing. So today, we're going to fix that. In this video, I'll share 7 medically proven steps that can help you survive a heart attack when you're alone. These aren't social media myths or grandma's remedies. They're backed by cardiologists from institutions like Harvard Medical School, the Mayo Clinic, and Johns Hopkins University, updated with the latest research from 2024. And I'll tell you this up front. The number one most powerful action you can take doesn't involve medication, aspirin, or fancy gadgets. It's something you can do right now, sitting in your living room, and it can give you the same survival advantage as having a trained paramedic by your side. Before we start, I want to remind you, this isn't about fear. It's about preparedness, about giving yourself, your spouse, or your parents the tools to stay alive long enough for help to arrive. So stay with me, because over the next few minutes, you're going to learn how to build an emergency communication plan that actually works when your brain starts to fog. Use a simple breathing technique that's been shown to reduce heart damage by nearly half. Position your body in a way that helps your heart pump more effectively. And discover the one habit cardiologists say could save thousands of lives every year, if only more people knew it. If you're over 55 or if you love someone who is, this might be the most important video you'll ever watch. Now let's begin with something that sounds simple, but could make all the difference when every second counts. 7. Create your emergency communication system. When your heart goes into crisis, your brain loses oxygen almost instantly. That means your thinking gets fuzzy, your hands may tremble, and remembering something as basic as your home address can become nearly impossible. In fact, a study in the Journal of Emergency Medicine found that 2/3 of heart attack survivors over 60 couldn't remember their own address when calling 911. Not because of memory loss, but because oxygen deprivation shuts down higher brain function in seconds. That's why preparation matters more than memory. Here's what every senior household should have in place. Write your full address, including apartment number and nearest cross street, on a bright-colored card and tape it beside every phone in your home. Include your phone number and any gate codes, door combinations, or entry notes for paramedics. Program 911 or your local emergency number as the first contact in your speed dial, both on your cell phone and landline. Keep your cell phone charged and nearby at all times, especially at night. The American Heart Association reports that nearly half of fatal heart attacks happen between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., when phones are often charging in another room. And if you live alone, a medical alert system isn't optional, it's essential. But here's the part most people miss. You must wear it at all times, even in the shower or while sleeping. The National Institute on Aging found that 31% of seniors who owned medical alert devices weren't wearing them when their cardiac event occurred, often because they'd removed them for bathing or bedtime. A waterproof model may cost a little more, but that small investment can literally save your life. You can also build in a human safety net. If you have neighbors, tell one or two trusted people about your condition. Give them a spare key and ask them to check on you if they hear something unusual or notice you haven't come outside by your usual time. If you live in an apartment, inform your building manager or doorman. Let them know to assist emergency personnel if needed. These small details can cut minutes off emergency response time. And in a heart attack, minutes are everything. Lastly, make sure you've rehearsed this plan. It's not enough to know it. You should be able to do it under stress. Try a quick drill. Pick up your phone, hit your emergency button, and visualize describing your symptoms clearly. You'll be surprised how much smoother you'll feel just from practice. The truth is, most heart attack survivors don't live because of luck. They live because of preparation. And once your communication plan is set, the next step can actually keep your heart beating long enough for that call to matter. 6. Master the cough CPR technique with caution. This one sounds almost unbelievable, but it's real and it's backed by multiple studies. It's called cough CPR, or cough resuscitation. Now, this isn't something you'll see in every emergency guide, because it only applies to certain situations. But when used correctly, it can buy you critical seconds of consciousness. Here's how it works. When your heart rhythm becomes irregular, for example during a sudden arrhythmia, deep, forceful coughing can momentarily keep blood flowing to your brain by squeezing your chest cavity and heart, acting almost like a manual pump. In a study published by the Chinese Academy of Medical Sciences, patients who used cough CPR correctly during early heart attack symptoms remained conscious for about 90 seconds longer on average than those who didn't. That's enough time to grab a phone, unlock a door, or take medication. Here's the correct method. Take the deepest breath you can. Fill your lungs completely. Then cough deeply and forcefully, as if trying to clear something from your chest, not your throat. Repeat this rhythm every 2 seconds. Deep breath, deep cough. Deep breath, deep cough. Each breath brings in oxygen. Each cough pushes blood through your arteries, essentially keeping your brain online for a few extra moments. But here's the caution. This only helps if you're still conscious and experiencing rhythm irregularities, not a full cardiac arrest or complete blockage. The Cleveland Clinic warns that if your arteries are fully blocked, this could worsen strain on the heart. So remember, use this only while waiting for help, and never instead of calling 911. And if you're unsure, always err on the side of caution. Your goal is to stay awake and keep oxygen moving until professionals arrive. In a moment, we'll talk about a technique that everyone can and should use, one proven to slow down heart damage in real time. But before that, if you find this information valuable, hit the like button so more people over 55 can discover it. It really helps the algorithm share life-saving information like this to more families. Now, let's move on to something you've probably heard about, but may not be doing correctly. 5. The Real Aspirin Protocol, updated for 2024. We all know that taking an aspirin during a heart attack can save lives, but how you take it matters, and most people are doing it wrong. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that chewing aspirin instead of swallowing it whole allows it to enter your bloodstream up to twice as fast. Chewing breaks down the coating and lets the medicine absorb directly through the lining of your mouth, bypassing your stomach. In fact, one study from the University of California, San Diego found that chewed aspirin reached effective blood levels in 14 minutes, compared to 26 minutes when swallowed whole. When every minute counts, that difference is enormous. Here's the correct protocol. Take 325 milligrams of uncoated aspirin, or 4 baby aspirins, 81 milligrams each. Chew them thoroughly, even if they taste awful. That bitterness is the taste of life-saving speed. Then call 911 immediately. If you're already on daily low-dose aspirin, you should still take this extra dose during an emergency, unless your doctor specifically says not to. And one more thing. Always store aspirin in multiple locations, by your bed, in your purse, in your car. Replace them every 6 months because humidity and age can reduce potency. A quick safety note. If you take blood thinners like warfarin, or you have a known aspirin allergy, ask your doctor ahead of time what your emergency plan should be. For everyone else, this simple step can reduce the risk of death by more than 20%, according to The Lancet. Now, once you've taken aspirin and called for help, your next move is all about body positioning. And believe it or not, how you sit or lie down could determine how much blood reaches your brain. We'll cover that in the next section. 4. The cardiac position that buys you precious time. Most people don't realize that your body position during a heart attack can directly affect how much oxygen reaches your heart and brain. It sounds simple, but your posture could literally keep you alive until help arrives. Here's why. When your heart struggles to pump blood, lying flat actually increases the workload on your chest and makes it harder to breathe. That's why cardiologists recommend what's known as the semi-Fowler's position, a posture that helps gravity do some of the work for your heart. Here's how to do it correctly. Sit up at about a 45-degree angle, propped against a wall, headboard, or pillows. Bend your knees slightly and keep your feet flat on the floor or bed. Loosen any tight clothing, belts, collars, or scarves that might restrict breathing. Stay calm and still. Unnecessary movement increases oxygen demand. The European Resuscitation Council reports that patients who adopted this position maintained blood pressure and consciousness up to 40% longer than those lying flat. A similar study from Tokyo Medical University found a 35% higher oxygen saturation in patients who used this posture. If you feel faint or lose strength, gently lower yourself to the ground, on your side, not your back. This recovery position keeps your airway open and reduces the risk of choking if you vomit, which happens in roughly 1/3 of heart attacks. Place your right arm under your head, bend your left knee slightly, and tilt your chin forward to keep breathing clear. And here's something new. A recent Cleveland Clinic study found that simply loosening restrictive clothing during cardiac distress improved oxygen intake by up to 8%. That's why the first thing paramedics often do is unbutton shirts, loosen belts, and remove ties. Every little bit helps your heart do less work. If you're sweating, which is very common, avoid covering yourself with heavy blankets. Instead, maintain a cool, comfortable environment. Overheating can raise your heart rate, while fresh air helps your lungs supply more oxygen. It may sound like a small thing, but these small things are what keep blood moving while you wait for help. 3. The controlled breathing technique that protects your heart. When panic sets in, your body's first instinct is to breathe fast and shallow. But here's the paradox. That kind of breathing actually starves your heart of oxygen and worsens chest pain. Controlled, slow breathing is one of the most powerful tools you have, and it doesn't cost a dime. At Stanford University Medical Center, researchers found that cardiac patients who used controlled breathing during an attack had 45% less heart muscle damage than those who hyperventilated. Here's exactly how to do it. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Let your belly rise, not your chest. Hold for a count of 4. Exhale gently through pursed lips for a count of 6. Imagine blowing out birthday candles. Slowly, controlled, steady. Repeat this pattern until help arrives. This method is called paced diaphragmatic breathing, and it's backed by dozens of studies. According to the Mayo Clinic, it can lower your heart rate by up to 15 beats per minute and reduce blood pressure naturally within minutes. Physiologically, here's what's happening. Deep inhalation fills your lungs completely, maximizing oxygen exchange. The slow exhale activates the parasympathetic nervous system, signaling your body to calm down. This reduces stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, both of which strain your heart. If you want to make this technique second nature, practice it daily, even when you're not in distress. The American Journal of Cardiology found that people who practiced 5 minutes of slow breathing each day were able to use it successfully during real emergencies 6 times more often than those who had never tried. One tip: if you can, count out loud while you breathe. It helps keep rhythm. And if you're on the phone with 911, the dispatcher will hear that you're still conscious, which is critical information for responders. This isn't just a relaxation technique. It's a biological survival mechanism. Now, let's move to something that almost nobody talks about, but it's one of the biggest reasons people die before help even reaches them. 2. The emergency door unlock and visibility protocol. Imagine this. Paramedics arrive within minutes, but your door is locked. They can hear your phone on the floor, your faint voice calling for help, but they can't get in. It sounds dramatic, but this scenario happens thousands of times every year. A Journal of Emergency Medical Services study found that locked doors delay treatment by an average of 11 minutes, and up to 1/3 of cardiac deaths in seniors occur because rescuers can't reach the patient in time. Here's how to fix that today. At the first sign of symptoms, before you do anything else, unlock your front door. Walk to it while you still can. Leave it slightly open if safe to do so. The University of Pennsylvania found that patients who unlocked their door first had 47% better survival rates. Install a key lockbox outside your home and register it with your local fire department. This allows emergency crews to enter without breaking doors, saving 8 minutes on average, according to the National Association of EMTs. Turn on all the lights. Brightly lit homes are easier for paramedics to spot, especially at night. Those extra 2 to 3 minutes can be the difference between life and death. Post-emergency info. A short sheet on the inside of your front door. Your name, age, address, medications, allergies, and doctor's contact. The American College of Emergency Physicians reports that visible information like this cuts treatment delays by 26%. If you live in an apartment, call 911 first. Then call your building security or front desk to guide the ambulance directly. Urban studies from Emergency Medicine International show that doing this saves up to 6 minutes in high-rise buildings. And here's a modern upgrade. If you can afford it, consider a smart lock that unlocks automatically when 911 is dialed from your phone. The Cleveland Clinic found these systems improve treatment response times by over 30%. Finally, keep a whistle or personal alarm near your bed or nightstand. If your voice fails, sound can still guide rescuers to you. Remember, in those moments, you might not have the strength to shout, but you can still be found. Now, we've covered how to plan, breathe, and prepare your surroundings. But what if you could take one single action that gives you the same survival odds as having a trained medic at your side? That's exactly what the next step does, and it's been confirmed by Harvard cardiologists as one of the fastest, most effective emergency responses ever discovered. We'll talk about that in the next section. 1. The immediate nitroglycerin protocol. Your life-saving first 3 minutes. There's one tool that can act almost like having a paramedic right in your living room, if you know how to use it correctly. That tool is nitroglycerin. This small tablet, prescribed by your doctor, works by relaxing and widening your blood vessels, which instantly reduces the workload on your heart and improves blood flow through partially blocked arteries. In some cases, it can literally stop a heart attack from progressing, if taken correctly and immediately. A major study published in the British Medical Journal found that patients who used nitroglycerin properly within the first 3 minutes of symptoms had survival rates nearly identical to those who received immediate paramedic care. That's extraordinary. But here's the problem. Most people use it wrong. Let's fix that, step by step. How to use nitroglycerin safely and effectively. At the very first sign of symptoms, chest pressure, pain spreading to the arm or jaw, sudden shortness of breath, or unexplained sweating, sit down immediately. Never take nitroglycerin standing up. It works fast, and it can cause a sharp drop in blood pressure that might make you faint if you're upright. Place 1 tablet under your tongue, not on top. It absorbs directly into your bloodstream through the thin tissue under your tongue. Don't chew, don't swallow. Just let it dissolve naturally. You may feel a slight tingling or burning sensation. That's a good sign. It means the medication is active. Wait 5 minutes. If your chest pain hasn't improved significantly, take a second tablet. Wait another 5 minutes. If symptoms still persist, take a third tablet. And if you haven't already, call 911 immediately. Never take more than 3 tablets within 15 minutes. The Cleveland Clinic found that patients who followed this exact protocol, 3 doses spaced 5 minutes apart, had 67% better survival outcomes compared to those who took nitroglycerin irregularly or too late. You can't control when or where a heart attack strikes, but you can control how ready you are to face it. And that readiness, that calm confidence is a form of love for yourself, and for the people who do anything to keep you here. So don't see this as fear-based advice. See it as empowerment, as a toolkit to buy yourself time, clarity, and a fighting chance, because sometimes that's all it takes. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you or someone you love ever faced a heart emergency alone? What's one thing you wish you had known before it happened? Share your story in the comments. It might just save someone else's life. And if you found this helpful, please subscribe for more trusted science-backed health tips for life after 60. Remember, staying informed is the most powerful medicine there is. Stay calm, stay prepared, and stay strong.